nutrient sufficiency. The general concept here is what is the right amount, what's too much, too little, and which way do things go within the plant. Sufficiency, if it is sufficient, it is enough. When we are looking at sufficiency, having enough of a particular element so that the life cycle can be completed. In order for it to be sufficient, we've got to be able to complete our task, which is to get the plant through its entire life cycle. Therefore, sufficiency means that we've got enough of it to be able to do the task of completing the life cycle. Doesn't mean we're going to have great growth. It doesn't mean we're going to have anything but being able to complete the life cycle. We have deficiency. It is lacking in enough of an essential nutrient such that growth is suppressed, which means that we may not have optimal growth. We may have enough to be able to get through everything, but we may not have enough material to have optimal growth. Adding a little bit more, we could still get things going a little bit better. When we're looking at a deficiency, it's not a clear-cut line. You're going to find sufficiency and deficiency overlap. You're looking at maximums in there. A deficiency, so you're lacking in enough of essential nutrient so that growth is suppressed. When we have a deficiency, there are often visual symptoms that we can see. The more deficient something is, the more visual symptoms you will actually get. When we look at these, we look for abiotic type symptoms, which means rather than looking at very distinctive lesions with modified margins around them, we look for things that seem to be very cut and dry. All of a sudden it stops. We've got a problem in there. There's no gradual change to where the symptom is occurring. This shows you a peanut field. As you look in the peanut field, you can see that some of the plants are dark green, some of the plants are lighter green, some of the plants are yellowish. We've got a deficiency most likely of nitrogen, or it could be iron. You can see that certain plants are nice and green and lush, other ones are not. Therefore, this is really a deficiency symptom. A lot of times we can see things like this on plants when we've got a deficiency. When we see this, then we start going, wait a second, do we need to go out there and analyze this plant tissue to find out whether or not it's actually deficient? We'll talk about how we do that later on. We have a concept which is luxury consumption. Luxury consumption means we took in a whole lot more than we actually needed. Here's your concept. Suppose you find a tree that has $100 bills instead of leaves. You need $300 to pay your bills. How many leaves do you pick? In order to have sufficiency, all you do is pick 3. But like most of you, the answer that you came up with is all of them. You have to go out there and you have to pick all of the leaves off of the plant. You may destroy the plant doing it, but you really don't care because you now have all of the leaves on the plant. If there were 1,000 leaves on the plant, you didn't need to pick them all up. All you needed was the 3. You picked up 1,000. That's luxury consumption. All you have to do is figure out what to do with it because you got to store it because you're not using it. Plants do luxury consumption on many nutrients where they will actually pick it up just because it's there. They will store it for later. If they don't use it, the leaf falls off on the ground, it will get recycled back into the environment. Therefore, it gets back in. If it does need it, it will pull it out of the place where it has been stored because of luxury consumption. Luxury consumption is a concept you have to understand. Not everything will do this. Some elements will be luxury consumed. Others will not. Luxury consumption, therefore, is really picking up of material past the point where it produces an effect. Add more to it, you don't get any better growth out of it. You don't need it at that point, which means it kind of becomes wasteful. It's like running fancy gasoline in your car. A majority of all cars manufactured do not need anything but low-grade gasoline to run properly. When we look at luxury consumption, many times we can find luxury consumption in N, P, and K, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These are 3 that are somewhat limiting on plants. Same way we have luxury consumption, we have toxicity. This is the degree that the concentration of an element is harmful to the plant. We go out there and pick up all this material and get too much of it, and all of a sudden the plant gets sick because it's got too much of it and it's dying off. This does occur with plants. You can have too much nitrogen in a plant, which makes it very susceptible to disease. You could have too much copper in the plant, which could be toxic and could kill the plant. When we look at toxicity, we're looking at the degree of concentration of an element that now becomes harmful to the plant because we've got too much of it. The ranges of this vary greatly on species. When we look at toxicity, we will talk about certain materials that are toxic but can be quite problematic. When we look at different materials in different plants, we talk about sufficiency, deficiency, luxury consumption, and toxicity.